Good afternoon. Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You've been so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life into me. You've been so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found. Leaves at 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. So you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You've been so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You've been so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, right till I'm found. Leaves at 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. So you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, I won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found. Leaves at 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Reckless love. He has such a reckless love for us. He comes down from heaven. You know, today I got up and you know the pain I'm dealing with. It's severe. In the mornings, I'm waking up with it more and more and more. And I know this is the path for the next 2 months.
But that's okay, because I'm watching the things that he's doing. The kitchen ceiling's going up and electrical's being done in here. And I'm just working my way through this, watching him give me the strength that there's no way I can do this. So this morning I got up and I had to lean on the oxycodone. I have a choice: take it so I can sleep, or take it so I can get a little bit of stuff done in the morning. So the last 2 days I've chosen to take it when I get something done. I'm only taking one a day because I feel that it's important to not lean on that stuff, okay? Intense. The song was really super intense because I'm feeling his reckless love, him wrestling with me, showing me things, and I'm hearing him speaking louder and louder, answering questions that I'm demanding him to answer. I told you recently, don't just ask, demand. Don't just seek, pursue. Don't just knock, pound the doggone door down. And when I do these things, he opens up the floodgates of answers that are just beyond anything. His reckless love is just bestowing answer upon answer upon answer. And I had a moment today, and it just, to watch, not a bad moment, a beautiful moment, where I saw something happen on Facebook, and he talks to me, he says, this is why I've had you suffer. Because others will see you have been willing to be obedient, willing to suffer through all of these things. And you don't give up. You keep pursuing me, even though many others have walked away. And I'm just overfilled with joy beyond anything I can explain to you. Before that moment, I was outside. I wasn't going to share this because I wanted it to be a surprise for somebody. She knows who she is, but oh wells. God is amazing with the way that he works in our lives. And I just want you all to realize, if you would embrace him, if you would submit to him fully. Look I posted a post yesterday of how my neighbor came over. He saw that I was sharpening my chainsaw and getting ready to cut the limbs apart that were laying in the middle of my driveway. And he took the chainsaw out of the way and he goes, get out of here. Well, of course I didn't. I was pulling some of the smaller branches over, but he kind of shoved me out of the way. That's what Dave does, because Dave knows Bob. And it's just watching God bless me with these beautiful things. I mean, how does all of this go? If I'm not serving God, if I'm not seeking him, and I'm not giving myself glory here, I'm trying to get you a point to understand. It is our service to God, okay, our submission to God, to understand that us submitting to him fully, he will bless us beyond anything you can understand. My neighbor Kim across the street here, Dave over here, both cutting the lawn, taking care of things for me while I had to heal from the last neck surgery. I know that I'm good to go no matter what God does in the next few months. I see his presence. So I get up and I'm like, okay, which do I want to do? Now, back 2 weeks ago or less, I ordered some spring flower bulbs for the front flower beds, okay, out here. Is it necessary? No. But it makes me feel good. And I'm hoping it'll make somebody else feel good once God's done with all of this craziness. Seeing daffodils and tulips with the background of the dark blue siding is just going to be so beautiful. To have that in the springtime, the thinking of rebirth, of how God rebirths everything and brings everything back to life after a season of rest. During that season of rest, we should be seeking to learn to strengthen our root system. What are those bulbs going to do during the wintertime? Think about this. Those bulbs are going to grow, their root structures are going to strengthen, and they're going to have beautiful flowers in the spring. Well, they can't have beautiful flowers in the spring unless they have the chance to grow the roots. How can our faith grow if we do not work, walk, live according to his ways, according to what he guides us, according to what he shows us? His reckless love is pursuing us beyond anything, but yet we still turn away from him. So I had hundreds of bulbs to plant. And I'm like, this is daunting. I can't get down on my hands and knees because I can't get back up. I got a cane. I can get back up with a walker or other braces and stuff like that, but I can't get back up off the ground. So how is this going to? So I start digging the first hole. I take my foot and I try to stick it up on top of the shovel, and I got my foot about this far off, and I just started laughing. I go, okay, Lord, how's this going to work? Well, 2 hours later, I had all those bulbs planted. because I said, okay, Lord, how is this going to work? And he gave me the strength to use a shovel, just my arms just digging down, when it would have been so much easier to take the spade with my foot, but I could not get my foot because of my left hip being so bad. Him, when you're weak and weary, I will provide you your strength. Because I asked. I didn't ask. I kind of said, okay, how is this going to work? It's kind of a demand, right? I said, ask. Don't just ask, but demand. How is this going to work, Lord? I'm basically demanding him, show me how this is going to work. That reverence. You're God. I know you're going to give me the strength, and I know we're going to get this done. And 2 hours later, all the bulbs are planted across the front, in the flower bed to the left, going out the front door, and in the flower bed to the right, going around, just around the corner. 2 hours. Pain beyond anything, and somehow, some way, we just throttle the adrenaline up because God just simply, you asked, how's this going to work? Here's how it's going to work, Bob. Because it's relentlessness of the way that he loves us. Can you find joy in all these things? When you're in the midst of storms, that's when you say, okay, Lord, how's this going to work? Those bulbs that I bought, okay? If I would have bought them 2 months ago when I was looking at them, it would have cost me somewhere between $400 and $500. But I put off buying them. I got them on clearance 2 weeks ago for $152. God giving me the knowledge and wisdom, be patient, wait. So, this crazy fool had in his mind, he wanted to get some new Christmas lights, because the Christmas lights I put up here from a wedding 3 years ago, they got a yellow cast to them, and they're just me being me, I like things precise. So I saw these new LED lights that are a beautiful, cool, bluish white. Not blue, but a more whiter, a true white. Well, they're $69 a pop on Amazon. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Something told me to wait. Well, today, I purchased them for $34. Black Friday specials. Patience in waiting upon the Lord to tell you when to pull the trigger. So I'll have lights for the outside of the house. I don't know if I'm going to put them up this year, but the fact is I have them for next year now. I have enough lights to light up the peak, across, down, up the peak over here, across the front, up this peak, and across and through the kitchen. And the outside perimeter. Yeah, I like to decorate because you know what? In my mind, it's honoring the Lord because it's a season of God. And yes, it's silliness, but you know what? I'm letting people know my faith. I'm honoring God in an indirect and direct way. Because people around here all know Bob speaks God. It's not that I'm great. I just simply speak him because I see what he's doing in my life. When I see Dave come over and clear the whole driveway out, and it was not easy for him. These logs were 9 inches wide. He goes, man, there's a lot of wood here. And the blade did not sharpen that sharp because I burned it up last year. So it is what it is. But I was blessed by that. Blessed to only take 2 hours to get the bulbs in. Just trusting God. Just saying, you know what? How's this going to work? I can't lift my leg up to use a spade the right way. So how's this going to work, Lord? Then he shows me how it's going to work. Well, you've got an upper body. Use it. Same way that I climb up and down the ladders. I use my upper body because my legs, they're not there. God gives us an imagination. The question is, do we use it? How many of us have taken the time out to use our imagination to go forward and trust, well, God gave me this mind to think this way. Trust with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and all your strength. And watch what he does. There's no way I should have been physically able to get that many bulbs in. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 9 holes dug. 9 holes that were like this wide in 2 hours. in a physical condition where I needed a shovel and another tool to walk as I'm going through the front. Yeah, this is joy. This is just, Lord, you are just so cool. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all the joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. I have my fights with God, you know that, I tell you about it. But then he teaches me and he shows me and he answers me. How do you expect to get answers from God if you are not willing to listen to his answers? If you're not going to demand the answers and then obey the answers and walk with the answers? Do you expect to get more answers from God, or do you expect him to be kind of silent? Because when he answers prayers and then we ignore the answers because we allow anxiety and say that it's confusion when it's actually God trying to test our faith, well, God's going to sit on the sideline and say, okay, let's see how that works out for you. And let us go through another cycle. I did this. Romans 12:12. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. My prayer may not be the way that you pray. Your prayer may not be the way that I pray. Doesn't matter. Do we look at him as the top creator, the answerer, the one who can fulfill all things that he promises? Do we understand that we're going to have wars inside our own mind? Yeah, Satan wants to get us to give up. Absolutely. We give up, we give Satan the glory. We don't, and we persevere through all of this, and we give God all the glory. And that's the whole biggest message that I heard this morning, or just a little bit ago, I'm sorry, was now you're seeing why. Because people are seeing what you are doing. People are seeing that through all the storms, all the chaos, all the pain, physical and emotional, you are still being like Hosea, being like Paul, being like Job, not giving up on me, but you continue to pray, you continue to preach, you continue to ask, demand, you continue to seek and pursue, and you continue to pound my door down, wanting my knowledge and wisdom and learning my heart. Well, I told you back when this all started that when this is all done and I've restored your marriage, I'm going to give you a platform that in my presence in this world, cannot be denied. Well, what are you watching? I'm watching people who were intermediate, trying to figure it out. Now all of a sudden, starting to pay attention. And I get a thrill of, you know what, Lord? You answered my cries. You answered my complaints. You answered my yelling. You answered my wrath. You showed me. And he goes, yes, now you're getting it. Because of your submission, because of your tolerance and strength that I've given you, because you lean on me as I did. Okay, Lord, how is this going to work? Okay, Lord, how is this going to work? Hanging drywall by myself, because I can't afford to have a friend help me. How is this going to work? And he provides ways for it to be done. You're witnessing this. This is not how great Bob is. This is how great the Lord is when we embrace him. That's what I want you to do. I want you to see him in a different level to where, you know, Lord, when I listen to you, my life does go good. But when I listen to anxiety, when I listen to darkness, when I listen to despair, my life turns upside down. And then I listen to you and it goes good again. And then I listen to anxiety, and it goes bad. And then I listen to you, and then I listen to myself. Now, this doesn't mean it's just anxiety. This goes with so many different things that we walk in sin in this world. So I'm going to segue out of that for a bit here, because I'm going to read something to you that I think is very, very important that is pertaining to, I wrote this morning, okay? Because we have Thanksgiving coming on Thursday, and our society has lost perspective. You, me. Oh, I'm guilty of this. Not that I shopped on Black Friday much, but I bought a couple of large screen TVs, was more concerned about those than worrying about helping getting dinner ready. Okay, so I was worshiping getting those TVs that were not all that important. So the Lord had me write this a little bit ago, 2 hours ago. One of the 10 commandments is honor thy mother and thy father. This Thanksgiving, how many will honor their mother and their father? Now think about this as I read this. This is very cold, harsh truth of many of us. As we're sitting down with family, some of us, and in a hurry to get the last bite so we can get out to the Good Friday sales. It seems that we are bombarded with Black Friday specials for the last 3 weeks, worshiping the dollar, special deals, losing perspective of what Thanksgiving is all about, much less the start of the Christmas season ahead. So when we sit down for dinner, those who have the ability to sit down with family, how many will be focused on enjoying the family versus, I got to get out of here because Black Friday specials are starting at 6 o'clock or whatever time they're going to be starting. How many people are more worried about saving $1 over a special deal, not realizing the person that they're sitting next to, left or right or across the table, may not be there next year? Does it matter anymore? Because we're so obsessed over Black Friday specials. Got to get there, got to get my special deal. It's more important. It seems that we've lost the idea of family, commitment, understanding that family should actually mean something when we commit to being there for just a day. Satan has warped us and taken us away, so we can't see these joyful moments of God at work, having our relatives around us, our loved ones. Why is it that the almighty dollar has become God over taking a little bit of time to enjoy family? Does this make someone uncomfortable reading this, realizing that perhaps last year they were more worried about getting out to a Black Friday special, and this year someone's not at the table and they didn't take the time to enjoy the moment in time, and they can never get that moment back because they worship the almighty dollar? Honoring thy mother and father, or grandma and grandpa, much less sisters and brothers and family, that wasn't being done. It was honoring the dollar. In essence, you've heard me recently harping on the golden calf. How many of us make the almighty dollar the golden calf? When do we stop the carnage of the destruction of family, marriages, life, because we have such selfishness within ourselves that we can't see the feelings of what we do to other people, being in a hurry for a Black Friday special, or simply just we have something that we want for ourselves, and we just discard everyone else for our own self-centered purposes? Think about grandma sitting next to you, grandpa. Seeing you scarfing your dinner down because you got to get to whatever store to get a Black Friday special that starts at 6 o'clock. All their life, they've loved you, given everything to you, and you're stealing their joy of their last years, if not their last year, as they're watching you worried about something else. When do we walk the path? When do we walk the path that God asked us to walk, and stop walking stop walking the way that culture in the world has brought us to be walking today? We wonder why our country is upside down and backwards. It is because we seek self over God, our own special desires for ourselves, no matter what they are, whether it's money or whatever. We throw people away, and then next year they're not here, and we realize what we've done, but it's too late. Until we get back to the basics of what God sees for family, marriage, community, and church, we should not think that this country will be blessed the way it used to be, because we've allowed the celebration of Thanksgiving to God be more consumed about what we want for ourselves. Now, this spreads far outside Thanksgiving, because when you look at your life, when I look at my life, how many things that I just, that's nothing, and move on and worry about something else. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was all about football, and I left my family sit on the sidelines. That don't happen no more. So when you sit down to Thanksgiving, consider the fact that the person sitting next to you may not be here next year over your Black Friday special. That's so important. And maybe spend a little bit more time letting them know that you appreciate them instead of letting them go through the last 3 years of their life, wondering if they were ever really truly important to you. I witnessed my mother go through the last 3 years of her life at an empty Thanksgiving table other than my family, my kids, my ex-wife Terry, a brother and 2 sisters and grandchildren not there because they had their way about what they thought was more important. And all I listened to was my mom cry every single night for 3 years. What did I ever do to deserve this? She didn't do anything to deserve that kind of thing. Honoring thy mother and thy father. How can you sit down to a Thanksgiving dinner when you're estranged from one of your family and claim, I love God, and you hate them? You can't. You shouldn't. Reach out. This is what thanking God is. Doing the difficult things, saying, I screwed up, I'm going to make things right, I'm going to go back and fix that with that person. And I watched my mom die from cancer because she gave up on life. Because of selfishness, self-centered, controlling, not love, but control. What was the situation? She sold the house to me. That's all. And my parents had no bills to take care of for the rest of their lives. But because others couldn't handle that, it was not a money thing, it was jealousy. It was all about control. My mom's last 3 years were destroyed. Are you doing that to your mother? Are you doing that to your father? Are you doing that to a brother, a sister, a child? Reach out to your family and say, you know what? I don't know what went wrong. I know that I saw things this way, you saw things that way, but you know what? I love you more than that. You want to thank God for all that He's given you? Do that. Fix your marriage. Fix your families. Fix your relationship between your mom and your dad. Don't be worrying about a Black Friday special. Sit down and enjoy the time. Go back to the basics of what God wanted us to have when the heavens and the earth, when He created Adam and Eve. The original design of marriage and family was not this ugliness that we have right now that is so self-centered, worrying about going out with friends over family, worrying about going to Black Friday specials over sitting down and taking an entire day. You know, there was a day when I was a kid, there was not that big of a deal on a Black Friday. We sat down there and we enjoyed hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. And I guarantee you, a lot of you are going to remember those moments. And you're going to reflect back and you're going to say, you know what? He's right. I'm not right. He's telling me what to do. Before I did this, before I turned this camera on, I said, Lord, do what you have to do through me. You want me out there, you want me doing this stuff, then you speak through me and you let me hear you loudly so I speak and I share. I witnessed my mom go through the last 3 years because of others being too self-centered, selfish, and self-absorbed in their own little world because they couldn't understand what commitment was as far as family. When you love someone, you should never leave anything like that destroy another person. I hope someone changes what they're going to do on Thanksgiving from reading this and doesn't make the mistake of worrying about Black Friday specials or other things that cause you to be estranged from your family. And let the one that they love know that they truly love them by taking a little bit of time and seeing what's going on in their life instead of discarding them in an indirect way, making them feel worthless because Black Friday specials are more important. Family, marriage, church, life, community used to mean something to society. We can bring that back if we just stop. There was a day that stores were not open on Thanksgiving at all. They opened at midnight. You want them to go back to that? Don't go shopping at 6 o'clock. What's more important? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, who may not be here next year. And just because your mom may be 40 or 50 or 60 years old doesn't mean that she's going to be here next year. Just because your dad may be 40, 50 or 60 years old does not mean they're going to be here next year. I watched my Uncle Bob die at 30. Well, I didn't watch him, but I watched my mom go through the hell of knowing her brother died at 33, leaving, I think, 4 or 5 children behind. Do you want that to happen? To have the regrets of saying, I sat down to Thanksgiving, but I was more worried about saving $1. And now I can never talk to my Uncle Bob. The love of Christ in our hearts should be more important than the love of an almighty dollar. The love of Christ says, honor thy mother and thy father. It also says, love thy neighbor as I love thyself. Are we loving our neighbor when we love the dollar? No, we get that hollow joy off of, oh, I saved $100, I saved $200. And then next year, Grandma's not here. That sucks. I was worried about getting that TV. And now she's not sitting next to me the way she was last year. I couldn't take the time to enjoy one stinking day. Because Satan has consumed me to pursue his path when God would tell me to enjoy this moment, to be thankful for him having grandpa sitting next to me. We need to find ourselves back to honoring our words, our commitment to those that we would find our lives being a little bit better. Okay, this is a little bit talk to text, mess this up. Money and wealth, okay, or other things. When are we going to start putting those aside and getting back to honoring God? That God has given us the blessings of having these people in our lives, instead of throwing them away, saying, you know what, I know I should be with you. That TV is not that important. That computer, that phone. The video games. Are they more important than mom, dad, grandpa, grandma? This Thanksgiving, break the cycle. Put the phone aside. Put the computer aside. Put the tablet aside. Say, you know what? I remember old school. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make a point to my family. We need to put our phones and our tablets and all these things aside, and let's enjoy us. Take power into your hands and ask the Lord to give you the strength and the words to connect with your family and bring back the old school days. Bring back commitment to family. Bring back commitment to your marriages. Bring back commitment to your brothers and your sisters and your friends. Over all of these things that are so much more important, that are worldly ways that have nothing to do with God. How can you find joy when you're busy pursuing other things and then you land up coming back home and you're in that same carnage? You get a temporary fix like a drug addict or an alcoholic going to a bar, getting shooting up, but then you got to come back to reality. When are we going to stop the cycle of what Satan loves to take us through? When we do that, we find these things. James 1:2. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. Well, what are you watching? Now we're circling. He's segueing me right back to the original part. Instead of worrying about sales, count it all joy. I'm sitting here with my family. Psalm 16:11. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Wow. Not seeking what I'm thinking is right, not letting my fears stop my path from what God has shown me. You make known to me the path of life. You make known to me the path that you want me to walk. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. So as I walk this, there may be fearful things ahead of me, but I know that your presence there will bring me the fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. And I know for the obedience of walking the path that you're asking me to, and not of the world, you're going to bless me. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Philippians 4:13 caught my eye. So I'm going to read 10 through 13. Thanks for their gifts. I rejoice greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. You have watched God take me to learn as much as I struggle, as much as you hear me complain. There's a contentness where, okay, I know you're at work. I don't like where it's at right now. I want it finished, but I know you're at work. And then he shows me for future ministry work things that I'm going to speak of that I'm not sharing right now. But it has to do with because of him taking me through all of this and him giving me the strength to withstand the struggles. As Abram walking up, questioning, why are you having me do this? You think I haven't said, why are you not finishing what you promised? Oh, it's not fun. To lay down at night at the end of the day, it is excruciating to get my legs up into the bed. It would be so much easier if someone would be here. But it is what it is. And I push forward, trusting him. He hears it, especially at that point. You know, when are you going to finish this? This sucks. Come on, God. And I kind of hear him, and, yeah, I know. But I'm at work. And then as a human, I say, well, speed it up, right? I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know that what is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Do you know him? Do you know God? Have you taken the time to say, Lord, reveal to me what it is that you want me to see that is slowing this process down? What do you want of me, Lord? Full submission. Do you know him? Do you know me as I know you? I made you in the womb. Do you hear me? I walk beside you. Do you hear my voice in the wind? I am standing here, my arms stretched wide, longing to bring you in. I am wanting for your secret.
within. Take my hand, child, I stand here waiting, wanting to pull you through. Where's your faith, child? Will you trust me? It's really not hard to do. As you walk along the cliffs of sadness, darkness, and despair, as you wander through the shadows, my truth is calling you in. There I'm here, child, do you know me? I'm standing by your side. I am wanting you to walk with me, to walk right by my side. I cry out to you to trust me, to know just who I am, to hold you in my hands, to protect you, that's who I am. I cry out to you to trust me, to know just who I am, to hold you in my hands, to protect you, that's who I am. Come to me, child, sit down beside me, trust me as I am. I am with you all the while, child, this is who I am. I am with you, walking beside you. Let me take away your sin. I am with you, walking beside you. Embrace who I am. Do you know me? Father, we ask that you help us learn to know you. Help us stop worshiping the almighty dollar, our own self-desires, and sit down this Thanksgiving and enjoy the company of family the way that you would want us to be sitting there with mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, brothers and sisters. Help us reach out and fix things that we've made wrong. Give us the strength to withstand the worry, the wrath that we think may come. Give us the strength to withstand all of this world's warped, perverted ideas of what Thanksgiving is all about. Black Friday specials when it's not. It is about giving you thanks, and we need to honor the things, the blessings of our family, of our spouses, of our brothers, our sisters, our moms, our dads, grandma, grandpa, our children. Give us the strength to withstand the trials of this world and rebuke them and reject them and start to eat and feast from your holy table, seeking obedience and submission to you, Lord, with everything that we got, by trusting you with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our mind, and all of our strength, and our strength can only be given through seeking you. Help us learn and understand that you are everything to us. In Jesus Christ's holy name, we ask these things of you, Father. Amen. I hope that this gets you to have a little bit different idea this Thanksgiving. Appreciate your family. Respect God enough to appreciate that family that God gave you. Until the next time.